Blue Eyes just got some new support that is potentially made in metal. And today, me and chat are going to be talking about those cards and how it can change the entire game. Let's go ahead and jump on in. All right, guys, here we are into the Blue Eyes support. It's going to be really interesting to see what's going on here with the support and how things work. I'm also going to be going over the older Blue Eyes support as well and talking about some things that could happen inside of this deck. Let's go ahead and start off with the new Link 1, and hopefully we get a Dark Magician deck like this too, or hopefully we get more support like this too that makes deck strong. Anytime you see a Link 1, guys, I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. The Spirit with Eyes of Blue is a Link 1 monster that requires one level 4 dragon, one level 4 or lower dragon or spellcaster monster. You can only use 1 and 3 once per turn. If it's Link summoned, you can take one Mausoleum from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, Maiden of White is the new card, or an old card for the deck, and it was actually a pretty good card. Maiden of White says, during your main phase, you can normal summon an additional light tuner in addition to your normal summon, and then it allows you to target a face-up monster, then send one normal monster from your hand or deck, and then the targeted monster gains 100 attack and defense. Why does that matter? Because that effect is actually huge. That second effect allows you to trigger so many good cards, or a particular good card. So technically, if you invest a Sage with the Eyes of Blue, you can get a level 1 spellcaster monster to your hand, link summon in this card, and then search the Mausoleum and gain an additional normal summon. It says you cannot special summon except for dragon monsters, which I think is a really good restriction. And then the third effect is you can tribute this card, special one Blue Eyes monster from your hand or graveyard. But if you special summon an effect monster from the graveyard, it cannot attack and its effects are negated. That's actually a solid card. It not only works in combination with Mausoleum of the White, being able to search it and summon the monster that you send to the graveyard, it also allows you to be able to work well with the Eyes of Blue monsters. I think this card's really strong. Next we have, whoa. You know I like the Kaiser Sea Horse, chat. You say a 7.5 out of 10? I think it's like an 8. I gotta give it an 8 because it's just so solid support. But now we have Kaiser Sea Horse, which is not a Blue Eyes card, right? You can only use it's a dragon though. The first, second, and third of this card's once per turn. If you control a Blue Eyes White dragon, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can target one light tuner card you control, increase or decrease its level by 1. Not sure if that's particularly useful. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can send one Blue Eyes or a monster that mentions Blue Eyes White dragon from your deck to the graveyard, except for Kaiser Sea Horse. I'm not sold on this card just yet. I like how it can summon itself, and which means you can synchro for 12. You can also increase or decrease its level, as well as another light tuner monster's level. So hypothetically, if you can special summon this card, you can turn monsters like Sage with the Eyes of Blue to a level 2. It can also trigger the effect of Maiden with Eyes of Blue, and that card's going to be, I think this card's going to be pretty important. Let me show you what Maiden does. When Maiden is targeted, you get to special summon a Blue Eyes White dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So in theory, you can use this card. In theory, you can use Sage with the Eyes of Blue to search Maiden. You link into Spirit. You search Mausoleum of the White. You gain the additional normal summon to summon Maiden. You target Maiden, which summons Blue Eyes. And then this card, after you synchro summon with Maiden and Blue Eyes, you can summon Blue Eyes back to your side of the field. So there's something, I'm pretty sure there's more that can come with it, but there is a lot of something that actually works. This card can also target our Maiden with the Eyes of Blue to be able to summon a Blue Eyes and then modify Maiden's level or its level. So there is some workaround with this card, but I'm not 100% sold on it just yet. You can mill Kaiser Sea Horse, yes you can, since it is a dragon monster. But I'm not sold. I'm not sold on this card. I gotta give it a 5. Next is Majesty with Dragons of White. Now, it's a trap card, so already a little not great. You can only use 1 and 2 once per turn. Show up to 3 Blue Eyes White dragons from your hand, face up on the field and or graveyard, then destroy that many cards your opponent controls. You can banish this card from your graveyard, ritual summon 1 ritual monster from your hand, attributing Blue Eyes White dragons from your hand or field whose total levels equal exactly the total of that ritual monster. So it's an Icarus attack that also allows you to ritual summon. I like how it says reveal or show, like you're showing a card on the field that's already on the field. I like that it's a thrust target, but it has to be Blue Eyes White dragon, which means your inboard needs to be Blue Eyes White dragon, or has to have Blue Eyes White dragons in your graveyard. The graveyard part is actually fine for a lot of us, right? Yeah, I think that this card can destroy up to 5 cards on the field, now that I think about it, because there's Blue Eyes White dragon, and then there's Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon, which treats itself as Blue Eyes White dragon, correct? Yeah, that's a 5 out of 10 as well. And now that we're done with that, we're going to go back and talk about some of the older cards that I haven't talked about just yet and see if these cards cards can work in combination. I think that the deck does have a lot of potential. But now we got Blue Eyes Spirit Ultimate Dragon. Oh, so Kaiser Sea Horse plus Blue Eyes White Dragon can make Blue Eyes Spirit Ultimate Dragon, right? 2 tuners plus a non-tuner. 2 tuners plus a non-tuner Blue Eyes monster. That's sick, chat. I mean, it still can, because it can modify its level to a 3. So if you have a 3 and itself, if you have him as a 3 and a 1, it still can do it, but it's like you can't go straight into it, which is still kind of dumb. Your opponent cannot banish cards from your graveyard. When a card effect is activated on the field, you can negate the activation. If you do, this card gains 1,000 attack. Yo, that's actually kind of good. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon Light Dragon monster from your graveyard. Okay, so this gives it another synchro option. I don't think that the synchro option is busted, but I love that it actually has a negation effect that increases its card's attack. But since the card is very specific, you can't just cheat out this card unless you're playing Crimson Dragon, right? But we're not going to talk about that, right? It's a Crimson Dragon. Stop ruining my hopes and dreams, guys. It's not a Crimson Dragon target. I didn't think the same thing, all right? This card is pretty good for Blue Eyes. I think it's strong Blue Eye support. We also have Maiden of White. Okay, maybe it's another targeting card effect. You can only use 1, 2, and 3 once per turn. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Place 1 True Light from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up in your spell and trap card zone. True Light is the trap card that is adjacent to the Dark Magician card. So this card allows us to send this card from the hand or field to the graveyard to get a True Light. If you special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon while this card's in the graveyard, you can special summon this card. Oh, so this card's kind of crazy. True Light becomes a must play in the deck, right? Like, True Light is trash, but if you think about it, you can easily summon True Light to your side. You can place True Light face up to your side of the field, so it's technically a spell card, right? And True Light special summons a Blue Eyes from your hand or graveyard, or can set a card that lists Blue Eyes White Dragon, so it can even get you the trap card for disruption. And she can still summon herself back to the side of the field. So even you can like discard her, place True Light, special summon Blue Eyes, special summon herself. That's a synchro 9. Easy. She has some really good combo potential. Now, she has another effect. When a card or effect is activated that targets this card on the field, or when this card is targeted for an attack, special summon 1 Blue Eyes or 1 level White tuner from your graveyard. She's solidified. I think she's an 8 out of 10 Ultron. I wholeheartedly disagree. I think she's crazy good. I think her alongside of Maiden gives you enough targets for you to actually play cards that target cards on the field. Having just Maiden isn't enough, but having a card to target her to summon Maiden and then target Maiden to summon a Blue Eyes gives you instant access to your level 12 Blue Eyes monster. It doesn't, because that's 10. That's not 12. You would need a 10 Blue Eyes, but still, the thought still matters there. I think that she does have massive amounts of potential. Next, we have Prayers of the Blue Eyes. Watch it target again. Prayers with Eyes of Blue. Discard 1 card, add 1 level Light tuner, and 1 spell and trap card that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand, except Prayers with Eyes of Blue. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon you control, equip 1 Blue Eyes monster from your extra deck to it as an equip spell that gives it 400 attack. So yeah, no, I think the second effect is pretty garbage. First effect is actually crazy, right? Yo, this is kind of good. I like that it's a searcher, but you're gonna get killed by Ash using this card, right? You're gonna use this card plus Melody, they're gonna Ash you. This deck is so ashable, and that just doesn't feel good. We have Saga of the Blue-Eyed Dragon. You can only use the 1 and 2, so you can special summon Blue Eyes monster from your deck, graveyard, or banishment in defense position. But you can only special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon with this effect if you do not control it. Wait. So if you have Blue Eyes, you can summon a Blue Eyes monster. But if you don't have Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can only summon Blue Eyes White Dragon. And you can't special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except for dragon monsters. Okay. You can banish this card from the graveyard, fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material, including a Blue Eyes monster. This card's good. I think that this is a solid one of. It's easy to search with a lot of the cards that we have. Keep in mind, True Light can search this, and so can other cards too. I think that this card is really, really solid. Overall, I think that the Blue Eye support is in the right direction. Unfortunately, in the current format that we have, if Blue Eyes were introduced into this format, it would not be a competitive deck. But that just shows that, well, pretty sure somebody will probably put Fiendsmith in it and make it competitive, right? But that just goes to show how ridiculous Yu-Gi-Oh is right now. I think when Konami is printing cards like this, it is a good thing, because it means that Konami may acknowledge that we're in a really bad spot, and it means that the ban list may be a lot harsher than what people want to give it credit. So overall, I really do like these cards. Let me know what you guys think. Can't wait to see what you have to say.